our 6 picks of the week for thriller and suspense novels you should be reading. Hello and welcome back to Deep Dives with SmartBookWorms. I'm Claire, your virtual book guru host for today's show. Join me, Conrad, Debbie, and Georgina, my co-presenters and fellow virtual book gurus, as we dive deep into our 6 picks of the week for thriller and suspense novels from authors you love to read. In today's episode, we'll be diving deep into 6 spectacular books by 6 acclaimed authors. The Note by Alafair Burke, The Drowning Game by Barbara Nickless, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by McLeod Chapman, Holmes Is Missing by James Patterson, Sweet Fury by Sash Bischoff, and last but not least, Best House on the Block by T.R. Ragan. So let's dive deep into today's deep dive, our 6 picks of the week for thriller and suspense novels from authors you love to read. Book 1, The Note by Alafair Burke. The Note is a thriller about 3 friends, May, Lauren, and Kelsey, whose lives are turned upside down by secrets and a murder investigation. A note left on a car by one of the friends leads to a series of events that brings up their complex history and past tragedy at summer camp. Kelsey becomes a suspect in the murder of a man with whom she had a past connection. Let's see what Georgina has to tell Debbie about this incredible new book.
You know, I've been thinking about May's trip to the Hamptons, and it's just so wild how everything unfolded.
Oh, absolutely. She went there just to relax with Kelsey and Lauren, right?
Yeah, just a simple getaway with her best friends. But then that harmless prank spiraled completely out of control.
I know. And May, of all people, getting involved with the police? She's such a rule follower.
Exactly. She's always been the good girl, the one who never breaks the rules. Even her pug, Gomez, follows the rules.
Right, it's so ironic that she's caught up in this mess now.
And the fact that she lied to Josh about it, that's so unlike her.
It really is. Do you think she's feeling guilty about dragging Kelsey and Lauren into this?
Oh, definitely. She knows something bad is going to happen and she can't control it.
Yeah.
It's like she's watching a train wreck in slow motion.
But what was the prank anyway? It was supposed to be harmless, right?
Yeah. It started as an inside joke among the 3 of them.
Right.
But now the police are involved and it's so much bigger than they anticipated.
Do you think May should have been more upfront with Josh about it?
Honestly, yes. I mean, she started piling up lies. First, she said the police visit was about Roland Shaw.
And that was a full-on lie, not just misleading.
Exactly. And it's only adding to her stress.
Yeah.
She's got this knot in her stomach because she knows she's hiding things.
But maybe she didn't want Josh to worry or judge her.
That's possible. But keeping secrets never ends well. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. It just slips through.
True, and now she's involving Kelsey and Lauren even more.
Right. She called them to warn that the police might contact them. They're all in this together now.
But do you think they're as worried as she is?
Kelsey and Lauren seemed, I don't know, a bit more carefree.
Maybe they don't realize the gravity of the situation.
Or perhaps they're just better at hiding it. But May's definitely carrying the weight.
Yeah.
She's always been the responsible one.
Do you think her background as an ADA plays into that?
For sure. She knows how these things can escalate.
Right.
And she's aware of the legal implications.
But lying to Josh isn't helping her case.
No, it's only making things worse. It's like a snowball effect.
Exactly. And eventually it's going to come crashing down.
She needs to come clean. With Josh, with herself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'll keep spiraling.
But can we talk about how this all contrasts with her personality?
Oh, absolutely. May is typically so by the book. This whole situation is so out of character for her.
Maybe the trip was her way of trying to break free a bit.
Perhaps, but it's backfired spectacularly.
Do you think this will affect her relationship with Josh in the long run?
It could. Trust is essential.
Right.
And once it's broken, it's hard to rebuild.
But then again, Josh might understand if she explains everything.
That's true. He cares about her deeply, but she has to give him the chance.
It's a tough spot she's in, balancing her fear with the need to be honest.
Exactly. And the longer she waits, the harder it'll get.
Yeah.
It's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Well, I hope she finds the courage to do what's right.
Me too. She's a strong person. I believe she can handle it.
And maybe this experience will bring her and her friends even closer.
That's a good point. Shared challenges can strengthen bonds.
Definitely.
Time will tell.
Indeed. Let's keep our fingers crossed for May. Book 2, The Drowning Game by Barbara Nickless. The Drowning Game follows Nadia Brenner as she investigates her sister Cassandra's death in Singapore, discovering Cassandra's involvement with the CIA and a super yacht, Red Dragon, possibly used for defection. Nadia partners with a CIA operative, Connor, to uncover espionage, family secrets, and betrayals. Nadia must choose whether to risk everything for her sister while confronting powerful enemies and the dark secrets of her family's past. Let's unmask what Debbie has to share with Georgina about this amazing recent novel. Have you heard about this new thriller set in Singapore? It's absolutely gripping.
I think I have. It's the one with the sisters, right?
Yes. So it's about Cassandra and Nadia Brenner, who are, heirs to a family yacht empire. But things take a dark turn when Cassandra dies under mysterious circumstances.
Wait, mysterious how? Was it, an accident or something?
Well, the authorities rule it as a suicide, but Nadia doesn't believe that. She thinks there's more beneath the surface.
I mean, sisters often have that intuition about each other.
Exactly. So Nadia flies to Singapore to uncover the truth.
Yeah.
And she discovers a web of espionage involving Chinese intelligence agents.
Espionage? How does that come into play?
Well, the yacht they're building, Red Dragon, is for a Chinese billionaire named George Meng. There's speculation that the yacht is being used to smuggle sensitive AI technology.
Wow, that's like layers upon layers.
Totally. And Nadia has to navigate these dangerous waters, both literally and figuratively.
Right.
It's like she's walking a tightrope without a safety net.
But don't you think, that might be a bit much? I mean, multiple high-stakes elements can make a story feel overloaded.
That's a fair concern, but the author manages to balance it all brilliantly.
Okay.
Each element adds to the suspense without overwhelming the reader.
All right, I'll take your word for it. So, what's the deal with their family dynamics?
Well, their father, Guy, is hiding a terminal illness, and there's tension between him and his brother. Plus, Nadia and Cassandra had their own unresolved issues.
Sounds like a powder keg waiting to explode.
Exactly. And amidst all this, Nadia is trying to keep their family business afloat.
Yeah.
It's like juggling knives while riding a unicycle.
Haha, that's quite the image.
Well, it fits. The stakes are high, and any misstep could be disastrous.
Right. Do you think the Singapore setting adds to the story?
Absolutely. The author paints such a vivid picture. You can almost feel the humidity and hear the bustling streets.
Yeah.
It's immersive.
I love when a setting feels like a character itself.
Me too. And Singapore's blend of cultures mirrors the complex layers of the plot.
Exactly. So, would you say it's more character-driven or plot-driven?
I'd say it's a perfect blend of both. The characters are deeply developed, and the plot keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Nice. You've definitely piqued my interest. Any final thoughts?
Just that it's a thrilling ride from start to finish.
Yeah.
You won't want to put it down.
All right, I'm sold. Can't wait to read it.
Book 3, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by McLeod Chapman. Wake Up and Open Your Eyes is a horror novel where Noah discovers his parents are possessed by the media they watch. He and his nephew try to get home safely as others are also succumbing to this influence. The story follows multiple characters as they are exposed to the message, Wake Up, Open Your Eyes, which spreads like a virus. Let's see what Debbie has to explain to Conrad about this gripping new blockbuster. I just read this book that's absolutely chilling.
Oh, really?
It's about people being possessed by the media they consume.
Wait, possessed by media? How does that happen?
Yeah. Well, it's like the news takes over their minds.
No way.
In McLeod Chapman's Wake Up and Open Your Eyes, that's exactly what happens.
That's intense. So what's the story about?
So there's this guy, Noah, and his parents stop returning his calls. He goes to their home and finds everything in disarray. And his parents are glued to this news channel called Fax News.
Fax News? Subtle.
Right? It's a not-so-subtle jab at certain networks.
I get it.
The media is literally possessing them.
That's creepy. They become aggressive, almost monstrous.
Exactly. It's like their humanity is stripped away.
Yikes. Do you think that's a bit exaggerated?
Maybe, but I think the author is making a point.
I see.
Highlighting the dangers of media manipulation.
I get that, but sometimes these stories make it seem hopeless.
True. But perhaps it's meant to be a wake-up call.
Could
we
be.
need to be aware of what we consume.
That's fair. So who else is affected in the story?
Noah's brother Asher gets sucked into the propaganda.
Oh, wow.
And his sister-in-law Devon clicks on a phishing email and loses control over her identity.
That's so relevant today.
Exactly. And then there's Caleb, Noah's nephew, who gets strange followers on social media influencing him.
Uh-huh. It's like the book covers all aspects of media influence.
It really does. From TV to internet to social media, it shows how pervasive it is.
But aren't we being portrayed as powerless?
I don't think so. It's more of a warning, urging us to take back control.
Maybe. That makes sense. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, though.
Yeah, it's like we're swimming against a current, but we have to keep trying.
So, did you enjoy the book overall?
Definitely. It was gripping and I couldn't put it down.
That's great.
Though it did give me the creeps.
Sounds like it's effective then.
Absolutely. It's a powerful commentary on today's media landscape. Makes you think twice.
Any final thoughts?
Just that we should be mindful of our media consumption. Don't let
Agreed.
it consume us.
Well said. Thanks for sharing. I'll have to check it out.
You should, but maybe read it during the day.
Haha, good idea. Don't want to get nightmares.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad we could talk about it.
Me too. It's given me a lot to think about.
Anytime. Just remember, the media we consume
Very true.
shapes us. Let's stay aware.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Talk soon. Book 4, Holmes Is Missing by James Patterson. Holmes Is Missing features private investigators, Holmes, Marple, and Poe, who investigate the case of 6 missing newborns. They work with NYPD's Helene Gray and against Captain Duff. Their investigation leads them to a group called Regal and a man named Oliver Paul, and they travel to multiple locations to solve the crimes. Let's find out what Conrad has to tell Debbie about this exciting latest bestseller.
Today, we're diving into a gripping case about a mysterious kidnapping at a New York hospital. Let's jump right in.
Can't wait. What's happening at this hospital?
So, get this. 6 newborn babies were abducted from St. Michael's Hospital in the middle of the night. Can you imagine?
No way.
I mean, it's unthinkable.
6 babies? That's insane. How did that even happen?
Exactly. The hospital's supposed to be secure, right?
Right.
But somehow, the kidnappers, they bypassed all the security measures. It's like they just vanished into thin air.
That sounds like an inside job.
That's what everyone's thinking. The private investigators, Holmes, Marple, and Poe, are brought in to solve the case.
Those 3. Wait, isn't Holmes, isn't he dealing with some personal issues?
Yeah, he's just returned from rehab.
Oh,
He's struggling
right.
with addiction, which complicates things.
And Poe? What's his role in this?
Well, Poe is dealing with his own drama. Detective Helene Gray, his girlfriend, just told him she's pregnant. And not just that,
Wow.
they're expecting twins.
Twins? That's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and Poe's kind of freaking out a bit.
Can't blame
So,
him.
with all that, Marple's trying to keep the team focused on the case.
So they're all a bit distracted?
Exactly. But they start digging into the hospital's staff.
Makes
They
sense.
suspect someone on the inside helped the kidnappers.
Any leads?
They zero in on a nurse named Keelan Dale. She's a lactation consultant who had access to the babies.
Interesting. Why her?
Well, she's been acting suspiciously, and they discover she's addicted to halcyon.
Oh boy. So she might have helped the kidnappers in exchange for drugs?
Exactly. They find her stash of pills hidden in her apartment.
Gotcha. Did she confess?
After some pressure, yeah. But she claims she doesn't know where the babies are. She was just a pawn.
Figures. So the masterminds are still at large?
Yeah, it's like the kidnappers are ghosts. No
Mhm.
ransom demands, nothing.
Wait, no ransom? Then what's the motive?
That's the scary part. They think the babies are being sold on the black market.
That's horrifying. This is like something out of a nightmare.
Totally. And to make matters worse, similar kidnappings are happening in London.
You're kidding me. So this is a global operation?
It appears so. The team is trying to connect the dots between the cases.
Yeah. But with all their personal issues, can they really focus?
That's the challenge. Holmes is considering quitting, Poe's distracted, and Marple's struggling to keep them together.
Sounds tough. Maybe they need to get their priorities straight.
Exactly. Like, it's not just about them. 6 families are devastated.
Right. You know, sometimes personal struggles can fuel determination.
That's a good point. Maybe this crisis will bring out the best in them.
Let's hope so. So what's next for them?
Well, they attend a crime writers convention, which seems odd, but
Really?
there, an eccentric man named Oliver Paul approaches them.
Who's he?
He claims to have information about something called the Mother Murders. He insists they
Interesting.
help him.
Do they take him seriously?
Not at first. Holmes is dismissive, but maybe this is a clue.
Could be. Maybe Paul's information is connected to the kidnappings.
That's possible. It's like that saying, no stone unturned, right?
Exactly. Well, they better hurry. Time's ticking.
Yes. Every moment counts. The sooner they find a lead, the better the chances of finding the babies safe.
For sure. Do you think Holmes will stay on the case?
I hope so. Despite his issues, he's brilliant. They need him.
Definitely. Well, I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Same here. We'll have to wait and see how they pull through.
Can't wait. Thanks for sharing this. It's fascinating and a bit scary.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder of the real dangers out there.
Absolutely. Well, let's hope for a happy ending, for everyone's sake.
Agreed. Until next time, stay safe and keep curious.
Book 5, Sweet Fury by Sash Bischoff. Sweet Fury centers on actress Lila Crane, who is producing and starring in a feminist adaptation of F. Scott Fitzgerald's Tender is the Night. Lila uses the film to process her own trauma and to seek revenge on those who have harmed her. Her plan involves her therapist, a secret society at Princeton, and another victim. Ultimately, the story raises questions about who is the victim and who is the villain. Let's uncover what Georgina has to tell Conrad about this sensational just-released sensation.
You won't believe the book I just started reading. It's like a modern dialogue with Fitzgerald's work.
Oh?
It's called Sweet Fury, and it's absolutely gripping.
Sweet Fury, you say? What's it about?
So, it's centered around Lila Crane, a famous actress who's preparing for a feminist adaptation of Tender is the Night.
That's one of Fitzgerald's novels, right?
Exactly. And the author weaves in so many Easter eggs from Fitzgerald's work. It's brilliant.
That sounds fascinating. What's Lila's story?
Well, she's dealing with a lot. Her father's death when she was young, her complicated relationship with her mother, and her engagement to Kurt Royal, who's also the director of the film. It's all very intertwined.
So personal and professional lines are blurred?
Exactly. And to top it off, she starts therapy with a psychologist named Jonah Gabriel. Yes,
Wait, Jay Gabriel?
A nod to Jay Gatsby.
Love that. How does therapy play into the story?
It's a big part of it. Jonah helps Lila explore repressed memories about her father's death. They use techniques like EMDR to uncover hidden truths.
That must be intense. Does she discover anything shocking?
Yes. She starts to realize that her mother might have been more involved in her father's death than she thought.
No way.
It's a major twist.
How does that affect her relationship with her mother?
It becomes even more strained. But there's this underlying need to understand and heal.
Sounds like a complex emotional journey.
It really is. And meanwhile, on set, things are heating up with Kurt and a young actress playing Rosemary.
Uh-oh.
Lila suspects Kurt might be unfaithful.
That adds another layer of tension.
Definitely. And the power dynamics are so well portrayed. It mirrors the themes in Fitzgerald's work about wealth, ambition, and desire.
Speaking of power dynamics, how is Jonah's relationship with Lila?
That's where it gets interesting. There's a subtle tension. Jonah might be developing an obsession with her. It's subtly hinted.
Isn't that unethical for a therapist?
It is, and it raises questions about trust and boundaries.
Sounds a bit unsettling. Does it impact Lila's progress?
In some ways. As she uncovers more about her past, the lines between reality and illusion blur.
Just like in The Great Gatsby?
Exactly. It's like the author is paying homage while exploring new themes.
You know, I wonder if the portrayal of therapy here is a bit problematic.
You might be right. It definitely dramatizes certain aspects for narrative effect.
But it does make for compelling reading.
Absolutely. The character dynamics keep you hooked.
I'm intrigued by Lila's character. She seems multi-dimensional.
She is. Her journey of self-discovery and empowerment is inspiring.
Does the book address themes of female empowerment directly?
Yes, it does. Lila's work on the feminist adaptation parallels her own quest for autonomy.
That's powerful.
It really resonates. I think you'd love it.
I'm definitely adding it to my reading list. Thanks for sharing.
Can't wait to discuss it with you once you've read it.
Book 6, Best House on the Block by T.R. Ragan. Retired journalist Rosella Marlowe hires Shannon Gibbons to help expose her neighbor's secrets. After Rosella is murdered, Shannon investigates, uncovering neighborhood secrets and learning about her own past. The investigation reveals that Rosella herself was a murderer and that her killer was protecting his family. Let's bring to light what Conrad has to tell Georgina about this marvelous brand new book.
So, I just finished reading the latest thriller by T.R. Ragan, and it's absolutely riveting.
Really? What's it called?
It's called Don't Ever Give Up on Your Dreams.
Oh, interesting.
And not only is it an intense thriller, but it also starts with this heartfelt note from the author that's super inspiring.
Wait, so it's a thriller and it's inspirational?
Exactly. She shares her personal journey of becoming a writer, and it's just so motivating. She talks about spending over 30 years chasing her dream.
That's incredible. So what's the story about?
Okay, get this. It starts with a man who takes a detour on his way to grab a burger, and he ends up making a split-second decision that changes everything.
Oh, now you've got my attention. What does he do?
He sees a toddler wandering alone in a rough neighborhood and decides to take the child.
Wait, he just abducts the kid? That's intense.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And from there, the story delves into themes of loss, obsession, and the lengths people will go to fulfill their desires.
Sounds like a real page-turner. How does she weave the suspense throughout the story?
T.R. Ragan is a master at building tension.
Yeah.
She creates these multi-dimensional characters that you can't help but empathize with, even when they're making dubious choices.
I love when a thriller makes you question your own judgments.
Exactly. And the pacing is relentless. Just when you think you know what's going to happen, she throws in a twist.
Right.
It's like riding a roller coaster of emotions.
I've heard she has several series. Does this book tie into any of them?
This one stands on its own, but fans of her other works like the Sawyer Brooks series or the Jesse Cole series will definitely enjoy it.
That's good to know. I like jumping into a standalone thriller sometimes.
Same here. And what's really cool is how she incorporates personal elements into the story. You can feel the authenticity in her writing.
It's probably because of her own journey, right? The whole never giving up on your dreams thing.
Exactly. She spent years facing rejection but kept pushing forward. It's a testament to her resilience and passion.
Makes me think about my own goals. Maybe I should dust off that old guitar.
There you go. It's never too late to pursue what you love.
Yeah.
That's the underlying message she conveys.
So, back to the story. Are there any standout characters?
Definitely. There's Shannon, a woman who moves into the neighborhood and gets entangled in the unfolding mystery.
Interesting.
Her journey is as compelling as the main plot.
It sounds layered. Are there themes of community and relationships as well?
Yes. The story delves into the secrets hidden behind closed doors in a seemingly perfect neighborhood. It really makes you wonder how well you know the people around you.
Exactly. Sometimes the most tranquil places hide the darkest secrets.
T.R. Ragan captures that perfectly. You'll find yourself second-guessing every character's motives.
You've sold me on this book. I need to grab a copy ASAP.
You won't regret it. It's one of those reads that stays with you long after you've finished.
Sounds like it might make for a great book club pick.
Absolutely. There's so much to discuss. Character dynamics, plot twists, moral dilemmas. It'll spark some lively conversations for sure.
And maybe it'll inspire others to chase their dreams too.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
T.R. Ragan's story is a reminder that perseverance pays off.
Thanks for sharing this. I'm excited to dive in.
Anytime. We'll have to chat again once you've read it. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the ending.
Now I'm even more intrigued. I'll start reading tonight.
Perfect. Here's to good reads and never giving up on our dreams.
Cheers to that.
And there you have it. 6 spectacular books by 6 acclaimed authors. Book 1, The Note by Alafair Burke. The Note is a suspenseful thriller about 3 friends, May, Lauren, and Kelsey, whose lives are upended by a series of betrayals, lies, and secrets. The story begins when the friends take a trip to the Hamptons. May, a rule follower, finds herself entangled in a murder investigation after a note written by Lauren is left on a car windshield. Kelsey becomes a suspect in the murder of David Smith, a man she had been in contact with. As the investigation unfolds, the complex history between the 3 friends is revealed, including a past tragedy at summer camp and a web of deceit involving Kelsey's past relationships and family. The friends must confront their past and the ways they have hurt one another while navigating a present full of danger. Book 2, The Drowning Game by Barbara Nickless. The Drowning Game follows Nadia Brenner as she investigates her sister Cassandra's death in Singapore, where Cassandra was overseeing the build of a super yacht called Red Dragon. Nadia discovers that Cassandra was involved with the CIA and that the yacht may be used to help a Chinese scientist, Mr. Meng, and his family defect. Nadia partners with a CIA operative named Connor, and together they uncover a complex web of espionage, family secrets, and betrayals. Nadia must decide whether to risk her family and the family business, Ocean House, to honor her sister's memory and complete her mission, all while facing powerful enemies. The story also reveals the dark secrets of the Brenner family's past. Book 3, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by McLeod Chapman. Wake Up and Open Your Eyes is a horror novel about a man named Noah whose parents become violently possessed by the media they consume. When Noah's parents stop answering his calls, he travels to their home and finds it in disarray. He discovers that his parents, along with much of the country, have been infected via the media they watch. Noah and his nephew, who is also unaffected, try to return home to safety. The book is divided into 3 phases: sleeper cells, recruits, and holy war. The story follows multiple characters, including Devon and her family, as they succumb to the influence of media and conspiracy theories. The characters are exposed to the message, "Wake up, open your eyes," which seems to spread like a virus. Book 4, Holmes Is Missing by James Patterson. Holmes Is Missing follows the investigations of private investigators Holmes, Marple, and Poe. The team takes on a case of 6 missing newborn babies from a New York City hospital. They also investigate a series of seemingly accidental deaths. The team is comprised of Auguste Poe, Margaret Marple, and Brendan Holmes, who is recovering from a heroin addiction. The team works with NYPD Detective Lieutenant Helene Gray. The investigators contend with Captain Graham Duff of the Major Case Squad. The investigation leads them to a group called Regal and a man named Oliver Paul, and they travel to multiple locations in the US and the UK to solve the crimes. Book 5, Sweet Fury by Sash Bischoff. Sweet Fury is a novel inspired by the works of F. Scott Fitzgerald. The story follows Lila Crane, an actress adapting Fitzgerald's Tender Is the Night into a film. The adaptation reframes the story as a feminist tale of Nicole Diver's liberation from trauma and her husband Dick's downfall. Lila, a victim of sexual assault, uses the film to process her trauma and seek justice against those who have harmed her. The story incorporates a secret society at Princeton, the pump and slipper ball, and the complexities of relationships. Ultimately, Lila's carefully constructed plan for revenge involves her therapist and another victim, raising questions about who the real victim and villain are. Book 6, Best House on the Block by T.R. Ragan. Rosella Marlowe, a retired journalist, is determined to expose her neighbor's secrets in the fabulous 40s district of Sacramento. She hires Shannon Gibbons as an assistant, luring her with a promise of mentorship. Rosella involves Shannon in her investigation of neighborhood secrets after receiving a threatening note. After Rosella is found murdered, Shannon uses her investigative skills to uncover the truth. Through the investigation, Shannon learns about her own past and finds her biological mother. The investigation leads to a shocking discovery that the person who killed Rosella was trying to protect his family, and that Rosella herself was a murderer. Have you read any? If so, drop a comment below and let us know what you thought. And if you haven't, do they sound like a must-read for you? If you enjoyed today's deep dive, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more book deep dives, and share this video with your fellow book lovers. Don't forget that full comprehensive reviews are available from our free 100 thriller and suspense novels you should read. See the link in the description below to grab your copy today. And until next time on Deep Dive with Smart Bookworms, keep reading, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next one.